Hello viewers, welcome to the fourth section of this course, Purchasing with Odoo. Topics we will cover in this section include understanding the overall purchasing process, installing the purchasing application, setting the cost price of the product, creating your first purchase quotation, receiving products and paying vendor bills. In this section, we start getting into what could be considered the core functionality of most ERP systems. We will begin by setting up a vendor and then purchasing raw material components. After the products arrive, we then receive the products into inventory and pay the invoice to complete the purchasing cycle. Now let's move to the first video of this section, understanding the overall purchasing process. In this video, we will learn about setting up a vendor, setting up warehouse locations, settling the invoice. Let us begin by taking a 30,000-foot view of the purchasing process. Putting together a purchasing system requires several steps, and initially, it can be confusing for people new to ERP systems. But when you break the steps down and look at them individually, the process becomes much easier to understand. Setting up a vendor. When you set up a vendor, you are determining the individuals or companies that are providing you with products. Sometimes vendors are also referred to as suppliers. In Odoo, it is perfectly possible to create a product and sell it without implementing a purchasing system. However, to begin using your system for purchasing, you will need to configure the vendors. The steps you take with setting up a vendor are much the same as setting up a customer. In fact, now it is as good a time as any to tell you that Odoo maintains core customer, employee, and vendor records, all in the same model or table named res.partner. Odoo distinguishes between customers, vendors, and those who are both with the use of the is a customer and is a vendor's checkboxes. Setting up warehouse location. Once you have decided to start using Odoo to purchase your products, you will need to set up locations to receive them. In a simple operation, you may only have one location, but other companies may have literally hundreds of warehouse locations. In Odoo, each location can maintain its own address, and it is possible to create nest sub-locations for better management and reporting of inventory. Generating quotations and purchase orders. To acquire the raw product, you will need to create request for quotations and/or purchase orders to send to your vendors. In purchasing, these are the documents you create that tell the vendors which products you require, the quantity in which you require them, and what you expect to pay for those products. Often this process is referred to as procurement. Depending on the industry and the specific location of the company, it is possible that there might be a variety of methods to manage quotations and approvals when purchasing products. Receiving the product. In a simple purchasing workflow, once your purchase order has been received by the vendor, you will be waiting for them to fulfill the order. At some point you will receive the product. Depending on your industry, this could be the same day or even stretch to months. When the delivery is complete, you receive the products and they will move into the location you select. Now that the product has been received, you are ready to create a manufacture order. But first, let's pay the vendor for what we ordered. Settling the invoice. Once you have received the product, it is just a matter of time before you must pay for it. Invoicing can happen at the time you order the product, before the product is shipped to you, or after you have received the product. Regardless of when you get an invoice, you can be sure that if you are receiving products, you will eventually be invoiced for them. When an invoice is received, it is essential to compare it to the purchase order for accuracy. Any discrepancies between the purchase order and invoice must be resolved before the invoice is paid. Essentially, this is your way of ensuring that you are only paying for the products you have authorized for purchase. Finally, it is good practice to match the receiving or delivery order to the purchase order and invoice as well. This three-way match ensures that you got exactly what you ordered and that invoice reflects exactly what you were required to pay. Nice! We have successfully learned about the overall purchasing process.